Pi Network just marked a new era in 2025 with massive tech upgrades, explosive community expansion, and shocking future valuation predictions that will blow your mind. You know, while everyone was losing hope and searches about Pi were dropping, something incredible happened that changes everything. Pi Network has officially transitioned from experimental phase to a fully integrated blockchain powerhouse. And I'm about to reveal why this $0.4003 price surge with a 17.81% weekly gain and $3.13 billion market cap is just the tip of the iceberg. Listen, I'm going to expose the secret whale activity that's accumulating 351 million PI tokens, reveal why over 170 million tokens unlocking in September could trigger explosive price movements, and share why industry experts are predicting Pi could hit $5 by 2026. You know, make sure you're following my Telegram and Facebook pages in the description for exclusive insider updates. Because what I'm about to show you in the next few minutes could be the difference between financial freedom and missing the opportunity of a lifetime. Here's the bombshell that's going to change everything you thought you knew about Pi Network's future. You know, external wallet transfers are now live, major exchange listings are imminent, and the new passkey security system makes Pi safer than traditional banking. But here's what's really got me excited. Fiat on-ramps now allow Apple Pay and debit card purchases, meaning mainstream adoption just became inevitable. I'm gonna break down the 5 game-changing developments that prove Pi is about to explode, expose the whale accumulation patterns that signal massive price movements ahead, and reveal why my analysis shows those $5 predictions might actually be too conservative. Stay with me because the bombshell I'm dropping at the end about Pi's projected 100 million user milestone could change your financial future forever. The transformation happening right now is unprecedented in Pi's history, and I have to admit it's exceeded even my optimistic expectations. You know, I've been tracking blockchain projects for years, and Pi's evolution from a simple mobile mining experiment into this sophisticated ecosystem is remarkable. External wallet transfers are now fully operational, which means exchange listings are no longer a distant dream, but an imminent reality. And I'm personally betting we'll see major announcements within the next few months. What really impresses me is the passkey one-tap authentication system. You know, as someone who values security above everything else, this feature makes Pi transactions safer than my traditional banking methods, and that's saying something. The Fiat on-ramp integrations allowing Apple Pay and debit card purchases? Genius move. I believe this level of accessibility is exactly what will separate Pi from other cryptocurrencies struggling to reach mainstream adoption. Pi Network's community growth is absolutely staggering, and honestly, these numbers give me goosebumps every time I look at them. You know, I've witnessed many cryptocurrency projects promise community growth, but Pi is actually delivering on these promises. The projection to surpass 100 million participants by 2026 isn't just impressive, it's game-changing. And I think it positions Pi as potentially the largest cryptocurrency community in existence. What excites me most is the core team's strategic focus on real-world applications. You know, I've always believed that utility drives value, not speculation. And seeing this comprehensive, decentralized marketplace where people can actually buy and sell goods with Pi tokens proves the team gets it. The KYB verification system for business partners is brilliant. It establishes trust levels that I think will attract serious institutional partnerships. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. And I'll be completely honest with you about what I think this means. You know, over 170 million PI tokens are scheduled to unlock by mid-September 2025, and while some people are panicking about potential selling pressure, I see this completely differently. As someone who's studied market dynamics for years, I believe this unlock could actually create buying opportunities for smart investors. Here's what really caught my attention. Exchange reserves currently hold more than 409 million PI, with Gate.io controlling nearly half. But here's the shocking part that has me really excited. Large whale wallets have been quietly accumulating massive positions, including one address with 351 million PI tokens. You know, in my experience, this type of accumulation pattern typically signals insider knowledge of major announcements. I'm personally watching these whale movements very closely because they often predict significant price movements. The launch of Pi App Studio has completely transformed my view of Pi's development potential. You know, I've tried building on other blockchain platforms, and the complexity usually requires extensive programming knowledge. Pi's no-code platform is revolutionary because it democratizes blockchain development. Literally anyone with a good idea can build applications now. Over 100 applications are already active, and while current network activity averages under 1 transaction per second, I actually see this as tremendous growth potential rather than a weakness. I remember when Bitcoin processed similar transaction volumes, and look where it is now. As more applications launch and user adoption increases, I'm expecting exponential increases in network utilization, which should drive up demand for Pi tokens significantly. The valuation projections for Pi Network are absolutely incredible, and I'll share my honest opinion on these numbers. I'm typically conservative with price predictions, but even the most cautious analysts are projecting Pi could reach between 43 cents and $1.20 by the end of 2026. While those numbers might seem reasonable on the surface, I believe they could be underestimating Pi's true potential. Based on my analysis of similar blockchain projects combined with Pi's growing user base, expanding ecosystem, and unique positioning in the market, I think there's room for a stronger upside. In fact, the more optimistic forecasts predicting $5 or higher actually align more closely with my own calculations, especially if key milestones like major exchange listings happen to align with a broader cryptocurrency bull run. If those factors come together, Pi could see a far more significant price movement than most people are currently expecting. I've seen projects with far less utility and smaller communities reach similar valuations, and Pi's combination of massive community, real-world utility, and technological innovation puts it in a completely different category. Pi Network's journey has officially shifted from vision to execution, and honestly, this is the phase where I get most excited about any project. I've watched countless blockchain projects fail during this critical transition, but Pi's systematic approach gives me confidence they'll succeed. The recent price surge to $0.4003 isn't just speculative trading in my opinion. It reflects growing institutional confidence in Pi's long-term viability. What really convinces me is Pi's ability to convert its vast community into an active, utility-driven economy. I believe this is where Pi will either prove itself as a legitimate blockchain powerhouse or fade into obscurity like so many others. Based on everything I'm seeing, I'm betting on the former. If this analysis has opened your eyes to Pi Network's incredible potential like it has mine, smash that like button. And let me know in the comments what excites you most about these developments. I read every comment and often use your feedback to guide my future content, so your engagement really matters to me. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because I'll be covering every major development as Pi Network continues this transformation. Remember, while others are losing hope, I believe informed investors are positioning themselves for what could be the opportunity of a lifetime. I've been wrong before, but my gut tells me Pi Network is about to surprise everyone. The choice is yours. Will you join me in being part of Pi Network's incredible future? Or will you look back wishing you had listened when someone was genuinely trying to help you see the bigger picture?